Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Noobster here, back with another Wonderlands build video for y'all. Guys, what I got today is an update to my ICE Warden build, as you guys can see in the title. So that is a Berserker Spore Warden build, and it's pretty much the standard Berserker Spore Warden build that you may have seen in the past with Wrath of Nature and Play the Angles and just a whole lot of enraged damage, basically. But guys, before I get into the video, if you're new or enjoyed this content, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It just keeps me motivated, and I would greatly appreciate it. With that out of the way, let's hop right in. So here's a quick look at the skill tree itself. So we've made a couple of changes. Some of the key things that you want are going to be Eagle Eye. This is going to help you with a little bit of extra gun damage. Bullseye is nice. That gives a bunch of extra crit hit chance. Some of these skills here you can play around with. I don't really like going into called shot just because I don't think I'm aiming down my sights too much. I do, of course, but to be honest, I mean, this is something that's a very give or take, and I don't think I'm really holding it for 10 seconds to get the max stacks. So to be honest, I just kind of find this a waste. I don't really go into it. Our big chunk of damage is coming from Wrath of Nature here. We have 6 out of 3 here. 3 are coming from our class mod. And in the past, this used to do 108% damage, actually. And unfortunately, they nerfed it, but it still is really good at 60%. It still melts things, so literally does not matter. Next, we have Headhunter. Headhunter is also another huge one. And then last but not least, Play the Ankles is huge. These are all the Spore Warden skills that you really want. The rest you can play around with. I like Medicinal Mushroom. It's just a nice thing to have. I love having big max size. That's why I went for Quiver of Holding. I like a little bit of speed, so Windrunner is always nice for that and the fire rate. And then I like my barrage doing a little bit of a good chunk of damage, so affinity helps to increase that damage as a whole. Hopping into Berserker, so we made a couple changes here. So we're keeping Ancestral Frost, Icebreaker, the old ways. These are all standard. They're in my old build as well. But next, we maxed out Blood Frenzy. I just figured this would be nice to have for survivability, just because restoring 9% of health whenever we kill is pretty nice, especially because we're killing really fast, and this would pair really nicely with the Body Rune, which is the shield we're using, which restores, I believe, around 15%. Let's take a look. Yeah, 15%. So 15% plus an extra 9%, almost 25%. So basically, we're getting a big chunk of our health back whenever we get a kill. So to actually put the points here, we took him out of Instinct. A little bit of reload speed is nice to have, but honestly, you could put this elsewhere. I was considering unyielding. Just having a little bit of passive health regen is nice, but it's not a lot, so I tried to drop the idea. I just kept it in Instinct. But you can also max out Windrunner. You could put it into Relentless Rage, which is something I got rid of. So I can put it into Unarmored Defense, which is also something different from my last build. A lot of the rings we're using are mood rings, so this just makes sense because we don't want our shield to ever be full. So basically, we have the extra 33% with our mood rings always procced because of the skill. And it gives us a huge extra chunk of max health, which goes hand in hand with Blood Frenzy. You're pretty tanky with this build, to be honest. So I just like running with this, and Blood Frenzy just helps with survivability. And we're already doing a boatload of damage, so honestly, you don't need extra damage. But if you are keen on it, you could definitely move a couple of these points around. You can move these 3 from here over to Call Shot. That might help you a little bit with damage. You could put a point into Windrunner. That'll give you an extra fire rate bonus and things like that. But hell, even Cold Snap might be nice just for the frost efficiency. But to be honest, again, it's not that big. You can even put it into Ancient Fury. Area damage. We have some splash guns in here. Why not? But for now, this is the setup I'm rocking with, and I do a bunch of damage, so this is what I enjoy. And let's take a quick look into our hero stats. So as y'all see, first of all, huge Spore Warden power. Ascended Gear is cracked, I tell you. And then also huge Berserker power, because we're trying to get as much Berserker power as possible because of that enraged bonus frost damage. It's so nice to have. But yeah, Spore Warden power is also nice to have. Huge Play the Angles damage and Barrage damage is also nice because you can just snipe people with your bow. Pretty cool. We maxed out strength and spell cooldown because we literally have no spell cooldown whatsoever when we're trying to use our Buffmeister as much as possible. We still have a long downtime, but the other damage keeps you doing a whole lot, so it's fine. But we try to get this as small as possible, so we went ahead and maxed this out. And I put them into dexterity, but I honestly don't think you need to because I think you're hitting crits like crazy because of the Spore Warden. So if you want, you can move this around. Just don't put it into attunement because of the gear we're using. We're literally constantly going to have barrages, so don't put it into attunement. Feel free to put it into Constitution. Honestly, I don't think you should put it in status damage either because we're really not going for a whole lot of statuses. This is all an ice build, so if you don't need dexterity, feel free to put it into Constitution. I actually have a -4 because of my archetype in this, but it's fine. Still a huge amount of health because of all the Berserker skills we have. Anyway, with that out of the way, here is the big chunk and the exciting part of the build. It's the gear itself. So we've basically upgraded everything from the pickaxe all the way to our spell. So let's get right into it. So we're starting off with a goblin pickaxe. This is going to be just for its passive, that whenever we pick up gold, we're going to increase our movement speed and our spell cooldown and action skill cooldown by 6%. And on top of that, this one rolls with Archmage. So basically, if you're meleeing, you can actually get your spell back quicker. This is really nice to have. I was really looking for Archmage, and I'm really happy I got this one. Really lucky. If you're basically wanting to do boss damage and you're just not able to get your spell up because of the huge cooldown, literally melee them a couple of times and literally it chunks away at the cooldown. So this is really nice to have, and the passive of just being able to pick up gold and then reducing the spell cooldown further is awesome. Next, the guns themselves, all of them have this enchant, which is for 10 seconds after activating Barrage, your gun damage has a 25% chance to cause an explosion that deals 30% of the damage dealt as poison damage. This one is just an awesome enchant. Very difficult to reroll. The Nightshade here, the Sword Explosion, the Auto Magic, the Gyre. We even have some other guns. We have some Liquid Coolings over here. These Liquid Coolings also have the same enchant. We threw in a non-2x one, but this one, unfortunately, I did not have time to re-roll. And then last, we also include a Queen's Cry with that same enchant. So literally play around. We don't have a upgraded Sawmill. We still have a Primordial, so you really don't need to use it. We really don't use it. We use the other shotguns. It's just a whole lot better, in my opinion. Next, hopping into our rings. So we have a couple rings. Basically, y'all know me. Whenever I include gun damage, I have a ton of rings that I share in the builds just so you guys can use a variety of weapons. These are mainly for the shotgun. And as you can see, these are championship rings because these are our big boss damage dealers. I don't really use this with mobbing. You can, to be honest. It's not a big deal because you're just doing so much damage. But if you want the most optimal damage, you could switch these out. We included a couple of SMG rings. We have a couple of pistol rings in case you're using the Auto Magic or the Queen's Cry or the Liquid Cooling. So feel free to use these. And we have a couple of these. So I don't know about this. I was told that the Shark's-Bane can roll with this high gun damage number. I'm honestly not too sure if that's legit or if that's something that's just save edited. But so all the gameplay that I will be posting, it will not be with this. But if you are comfortable with using it, feel free to use it. I added two of those in this build. They're both ascended. So it's huge. 52% is honestly massive. I kind of feel like it's cheating, but so I don't really use them too much. But when I have equipped them, they really do help a ton, especially with the SMG. We don't really have any assault rifles, so we can't really make use of that. But yeah, so if you're comfortable, feel free to use these. The rest are kind of from the old builds and stuff, so I don't really use these too much. But that is the main chunk of rings that y'all can use. Next is the body rune. So this has the enchant that whenever you reload, gain a charge of barrage. Guys, The Nightshade, literally, you reload this thing so fast that you will have unlimited barrages. And even if it didn't, I mean, having to just wait for a reload to get a barrage is next to nothing. So you will constantly have barrage up. You can constantly spam them. Do not worry. A quick bullet shot and you have barrage again. So literally does not matter. This is nice because you get an extra 15. The bonus is that you restore 15% of your max health, as we said previously, and you deal bonus 20% fire damage. Now, one of the negative things is I wish that was not fire damage because we are using the Cape of Tides, and soaked makes fire damage do less damage. But it is what it is. It's fire damage. It's still a little nice to have. We're doing a ton of elements, to be honest, now that I think about it, because we have fire, we have ice, of course, and we have poison because of our enchant on these guns. So honestly, if you guys want to put into status power, you literally could, or status damage, or whatever it's called. But that is that. I already showed you guys the Cape of Tides. This one's really nice. Also ascended, Spore Warden power, and Berserker power. Gun damage, area damage, all damage dealt. Literally, God rolled, amazing freaking class mod out here. Next, we have a couple of different amulets. So this one is a frost damage and berserker power with all damage dealt and magazine size. And as you guys know, because we're spamming our barrages, you will constantly regen this shield or ward, you can call it. And because we're only holding 50% of our ward at a time, you're going to basically have your ward full whenever you cast your barrage. And then last but not least is our triggering Buffmeister, which has the enchant on action skill start, increase gun damage by 40% for 10 seconds. This is a shock one with Pew and Kachow, exactly what we need because this is a gun-based build and ability damage slightly. But yeah, I mean, literally, y'all know about the Buffmeister. Buffs your damage is awesome. This one has 2 spell charges, which is really nice. You can use the Goblin Pickaxe to hopefully crank down that cooldown a little bit, but for the most part, I usually just use this for bossing. I can spam it out a little bit here and there when I'm in mobbing scenarios, but honestly, it's not needed because as soon as I hit them with the barrage and I proc Wrath of Nature, I'm just melting them like crazy anyway. But that is the gear itself. There's our Druid. Here is our Archmage. Here is our Blade Master. And then here's our Deadeye. So you could take a quick look at that and pause whenever you need to if you want to take a deeper look into those. But that pretty much wraps it for the build itself. Here's a quick look at all the gear once more. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you guys download the save file if you are on PC. If you are on console, hit me up. I am going to change it so that now, unfortunately, my weekdays are really busy, so I will be doing build drops for this every weekend for any of my builds, to be honest. So just let me know what kind of build you're looking for, and the weekends are a perfect time. I live in EST. I'm on the East Coast of the United States, so please keep that in mind. And yeah, just hit me up if you are on console, and I can help you guys out. If you're on PC, I will be posting this save file in my Discord, and I'll put the link to the Discord in my description box below. So feel free to grab it, have fun with the gear, and just enjoy the game. You know, I mean, it's kind of stale for now, but hopefully when the new character comes out, we're going to have a blast making new builds and stuff like that. So be on the lookout. Hopefully that'll come out really, really soon, and we could just have a whole lot of fun, and hopefully some more excitement to this game will come back. But until then, guys, hope you enjoyed the rest of the gameplay. Again, please like and sub if you're new. I would really, really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, enough of my talking. I will show you guys the gameplay and hope you guys enjoy. Thanks, guys. Talk to y'all later. Peace.